All right, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you again to Hagerstown Speedway tonight. Glad to have you with us for the latest edition of the Frank Sagi Tribute, honoring the legendary announcer for 39 years here at the capital of dirt track racing. And glad to have you with us. We have got so much to talk about and so many fine awards to be given out. We know we're running just a tad bit behind. We were scheduled to start at 7 for our warm-ups. But the first award that we would like to give out tonight is Best Appearing Car. Okay. So we got the top 4 that was voted on, and these awards are going courtesy of KRS Motorsports. As far as the best appearing car in the pit area tonight, 4th place went to the 37F of Wesley Bonebrake. He was number 4 tonight. Beautiful late model sportsman car of Wesley Bonebrake.
This is the Bobby Jones family here.
I'm sorry, Friends of Bobby Jones. They were doing the Best Appearing Car Awards. I got so many sponsors here. I'm just trying to keep it straight. Guys, thank you so much. All right, Wesley Bonebrake, one of our top late model sportsman drivers this year. All right, 3rd place in the Best Appearing Car category, the 4 of Gary Stuhler. Thanks for coming with us. I'm going to drop that, screw that all up. Shake a hand, drop the mic. Okay. All right, 2nd place tonight in our Best Appearing Car Award category, the 00 Tyler Bear. All right, and voted on tonight, the best appearing car in super late model action tonight here at the Hagerstown Speedway. Give it up for the 91 of JT Spence. Good job, JT.
Thank you.
Again, our thanks out. The Friends of Bobby Jones sponsoring the award for best appearing car in our top 4 categories. Alan Sagi, it looks like another good turnout tonight. Good super late model field. Good mix of some of our top late model sportsman drivers. That makes it even more fun.
Yeah, that does make it more interesting, buddy. I think the last I heard, we had 37 cars total. Really pleased with that. Want to thank all the fans for coming out tonight and supporting this deal. I know it's a little warm here this evening, but it's going to get a little better here as we go.
I'm not crying, I'm sweating.
That's right. Hey, it's better than rain. How about it?
Absolutely. Hey, fans, if you don't know, a few weeks ago when this race was supposed to be tied in with Appalachian Mountain Speedway, Alan told me something. He said, buddy, keep it under your hat, but we're going to dress the track up even more. He painted these guardrails white, some of the old tradition that we had here at Hagerstown, but unfortunately that event got rained out, so we didn't have the opportunity to recognize Alan. Thankfully, we found a date on the schedule. So fans, it really enhances the racetrack and brings it out that much more. A lot of work, a lot of money, a lot of effort. Alan, thank you for that.
Well, thank you very much. I hope it enhances everybody's experience here a little bit tonight. My buddy Jason Wall's taking the pictures. He likes it. It gives him a little nicer background. And the drivers, it gives them a little better reference point. And I think it might lend to even a little better racing. So we hope that's a little bit of a benefit to everybody.
You know, when Danny's been going through the pits talking to drivers, whether it be Greg Satterley, and obviously a lot of them are very young and they didn't remember or come to the track to hear your dad announce, but he's asked everyone, and what does this race mean to you? Not only the Sagi tribute, the Durborough tribute. We go to Winchester for the Jimmy Spence Memorial, the Junior Boone Memorial, honoring so many great drivers and legends that help build our sport. But also on the other side of the fence, your dad, what does this race mean to you? It means a lot to them to come for Frank Sagi, even if they didn't know him, because they've heard so many great stories about him. I know I ask you this every year, but what does it mean to you to have your dad's memory continue to be rekindled each and every year?
Well, my dad spent a lot of time at this place, and he spent a lot of time promoting this place away from here. The track meant a lot to him. He talked up Hagerstown Speedway for years and years. For 39 years, he was known as the voice of Hagerstown Speedway. And he was also the voice of Beltsville Speedway, the old NASCAR-sanctioned pavement track.
You see that gentleman waving at you right now?
Yep.
He's got a Beltsville Speedway shirt and Frank Sagi's name's on the back of it.
How about that? That's a collector's item. I have one of those at home, too. In fact, I'm wearing one of my dad's old announcing shirts here tonight. I'm hoping this thing doesn't fall apart on me standing here, expose myself, but it's from the early 80s. I was kidding Dave Wilt. I said my dad probably interviewed you in Victory Lane wearing his shirt. But yeah, this place meant a lot to my father. He really enjoyed things. When he quit announcing, people would ask him, they'd say, Frank, do you miss the announcing? He said, no, I miss the people. And he really enjoyed coming back and seeing some of the people. And I know the day I won the Oktoberfest race, the 100 lapper, when I got out of the car in Victory Lane, the announcer was John Kroll at the time, and he asked me, he says, "Your dad here?" I said, "Yeah, he's over in the grandstand." And he had been retired from announcing in about 10 or 11 years by the time. And he said, "Do you mind if I, have your dad come down on the track?" I said, "No, sure." And Dad come down, and it just meant a lot to him to see the different side of it. He sort of helped invent the Oktoberfest. Him and Randy Grove together come up with that idea. And I guess it meant a lot to him to watch his son win the race. And it was the only time in my life I ever seen him cry.
Oh, absolutely. Great memories, great memories. And you're continuing that tradition through other legends, and we have 3 very great legends here tonight.
We do.
I know that sometimes it might be very easy to pick 3, and sometimes it might be very hard to pick 3.
It's always hard. There's so many deserving people. We have 2 legendary drivers here tonight, along with an iconic car owner. We don't want to forget the guys that make this happen. The car owners are a big part of that also. We've had a great group of honorees in the past. We got 3 more really good ones tonight. So we'd like to recognize these. We'd like to recognize these gentlemen. We have a couple gifts for them, and we appreciate them being here and mingling with everybody tonight.
All right, so without further ado, let's bring in the first person that we want to recognize tonight. You have noticed at Fame, there's a lot of iconic numbers out there in late model racing, but one, not more iconic than another, but one that's been very distinctive for many, many years and has had a lot of legendary drivers behind it. It's the 43A machine, and as present right now, Jason Covert has been the driver of that car. It is our great pleasure and honor to recognize Barry Kleindienst, the owner of the 43A machine. Barry, come on up, my friend. Number 1, finally an honor to meet you, sir. I've enjoyed watching that car. It's been one of my favorites all my life.
Well, thank you. It's my honor to be here. I told Alan, I said he must be getting hard up.
Well, you know what? I'm looking at this over 50 years as an owner. Let's see. Wins at Hagerstown, Selinsgrove, Port Royal. Got to be a ton of other racetracks, I'm sure, that were there. Gary Snellbaker, Bobby Goodling. I remember that name for many, many years. I remember down at Virginia Motor Speedway, the old Saluda track many years ago, Steve Smith Sr., legendary sprint car driver in Pennsylvania, was driving. Jeff Leapart, Tyler Baird, Jason Covert, just to name a few. You've had some very iconic names in that car.
I was very fortunate. Just blessed to be able to have a good enough car that I could attract somebody that could get the speed out of it, because if I would have drove it, it would have been in the fence probably all the time.
Do you have any Frank Sagi memories when you came here to Hagerstown Speedway?
Yes, I have one. I was right down here somewhere in the pits working on the car, and Frank, in his usual method, just started blurting stuff out, and I thought the whole world had to be coming to an end. I jumped up from what I was doing. I got out and I was looking around, and here was a car was going into the first turn, and there's a car maybe 10 car lengths behind him, and he made me believe that they were side by side.
He had the luxury of being able to do that knack, and he was so very good at it.
Yeah, Frank, as far as I'm concerned, we've probably been around 50 or 60 different racetracks throughout the Midwest and down through the South. I have to say, probably without any hesitation, he was the best. That guy, he was terrific.
Well, and you had the honor of being a part of most of his legendary career. Barry, we thank Frank for what he did, but we also thank you for fielding that car for so many years. In this day and age, it's tough in super late model racing with everything that's going on, but you've kept that iconic 43A around, and from all of us, we thank you so very much for continuing to keep that beautiful car out on the racetrack.
Well, thank you. It was fun, but when I turned 80, it was time to cash in my chips. They're actually running every once in a while on a limited schedule, a 43A. They were going to be down here tonight with it, and it would have been neat to get pictures of the old time from the 70s and the current car, but Covert, the driver, he got sick. So they, just at 11 o'clock, I found out they weren't coming down, but it would have been neat, he would have been here if they could have. My son's here, but not the car.
Well, Barry, we got some very beautiful awards for you, courtesy of Rick Harbaugh and the folks at KRS Motorsports to commemorate you being inducted into the latest Frank Sagi tribute. The 43A, that's one of those Bobby Goodling cars. It looks just like it. But look at these cars. And, Barry, you're going to have to come down here when you get a chance to have Barry show you some of the beautiful 43As over the course of history. Rick Harbaugh's got a beautiful plaque/picture. This is gorgeous. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Barry Kleindienst, the owner of the 43A, our latest inductee into the Frank Sagi Ring of Honor. Barry, thank you so much for being here tonight here at the Hagerstown Speedway, and best of luck the rest of the way. We certainly hope that 43A will be around for many more years.
I don't know how much longer, but maybe another year or so.
If I can do it, you can do it. Come on.
Well, I don't have any. I don't have any say in that anymore. That's my son.
All right.
My son took everything over when I quit. They run a very limited schedule. They're both pretty busy with their businesses, so I wish they'd race more, but it's their deal. They're not as dumb as I was to try and go to every darn race there was, so they're a little bit smarter than I am in that point.
Well, Barry, enjoy your night and savor the moment, because you certainly earned it, my friend.
Just, well, thank you. Thank Arch, and thank the Speedway and all you guys here. I'd look at the stands from in the pits, but I'd never really seen them this close, so I appreciate you all coming out.
All right. Barry Kleindienst, ladies and gentlemen, the proud owner of the 43A. All right, from a car owner, we go to a very prolific race car driver. He has a list of accomplishments that I don't have enough time to read. He is legendary. Many years ago, and talking about the old Virginia Motor Speedway years ago, I remember seeing his father race down there, and he was a legendary figure. We got to watch him race during our generation, and he stacked up many victories, not only here at Hagerstown, but at Potomac Speedway, throughout the Northeast, all over the country, up and down the Atlantic seaboard and down into Florida. And he now has a race for his dad down at the Natural Bridge Speedway, which is the Tommy Bear Memorial. It is our great pleasure to welcome back Booper Bear out of Rockbridge, Baths, Virginia. Super Booper, as they called him for many years. My friend, it was so good to be down at Natural Bridge last year, and when Alan said you were one of these three, I was excited to see you back here once again.
Well, without ado or saying too much, I've got a few health issues that slowed me down. I wasn't sure. I didn't want to drive a time or two yet, but I'm certainly honored to be here. It's great to see a good turnout, and I'd like to say a special thank you to Alan Sagi for all the work he does to make this such an event.
Well, and you know, when I looked at all your accolades back there, it reminded me when we were at Natural Bridge and you had the tent set up and all the accomplishments of your dad, of yourself, and of Tyler. The Bear family has certainly made their mark in the sport of dirt track racing all up and down the Eastern Seaboard.
Well, it's been very enjoyable. A lot of tough times, a lot of money spent, a lot of generous donations. But the person that has put all that together for me is the nephew of Buzzy Walters. His name's Randy. He and his daughter load that stuff up, drag it around, and try to keep it as well kept as possible. He couldn't be here tonight because of the rescheduling, but he sent his mother and cousin and his wife to make sure it was here for the people to see. And it means a great deal to have somebody to do all that work for you.
You know, in my opinion, you're one of the most soft-spoken gentlemen I've ever witnessed, but you're one of the most revered out on a racetrack and one of the greatest. What is your greatest memory of Hagerstown Speedway?
Coming here, driving the 55 for Bobby Allen originally, that was big because of all the legendary drivers that had been in it, to be recognized as somebody he thought enough of to put in it. And the first few wins I had here in my car, I thought it was the toughest thing I'd ever try to accomplish, and it happened rather quickly. And then I've had plenty of nights that it wasn't very good, but you look back and try to reflect on the good ones more than the bad ones.
What does it mean to you to be inducted into this Ring of Honor tonight, honoring Frank Sagi?
Well, between yourself and Frank Sagi, you taught me how to do these interviews. So it's certainly an honor to be here, and it's to be recognized, and to still have a car on the track and something to come and cheer for.
That 00 is going to be out there, and he's going to be loaded for bear, no pun intended. And I wish him the best of luck tonight. Booper, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
All right, we've got some wonderful awards courtesy of Rick Colbaro. Give it up for Booper Bear, 6-time Hagerstown winner. He was the Rookie of the Year in 1987. That same year, he finished second to Jeff Robinson, the Shady Grove Slingshot, in the late model points, 75 different speedways, and also was a 2023 inductee into the National Dirt Racing Hall of Fame. And if you want to see the rest of those accomplishments, I just hit the tip of the iceberg. You look at the list down there at his table. Booper Bear has got some great accomplishments in the sport. Booper Bear out of Rockbridge Baths, Virginia. And growing up as well in limited late model competition, there were just as many tough limiteds back in the day. When I was following them, I remember the names of Nathan Durborough, Ernie Davis when they ran limited late models, Danny Sullivan, Ronnie Byers in Pennsylvania, Maryland, and Virginia, West Virginia. But there's another driver that did just as well, and he's with us here tonight. He drives that famous 2+2 car. You see Cody Kirshner's car out there occasionally. He was a Hagerstown champion in 1978 and 1983 with championships also at the Winchester Speedway, and is still ranked as one of the top limited late model drivers at both of those racetracks. Folks, put it together for Mr. Dave Wilt and the famous 2+2 machine. My friend, welcome back to Hagerstown Speedway, and congratulations.
I love this place. I love this place, and thank you for thank Alan for inviting me. I'll tell you what, this is one of the best racetracks we've ever raced. We are very fortunate in our career to have, I think, 67 wins everywhere, and we won several of them here and some championships here, and I am honored. And I want to say this, it's an honor to be here for the Frank Sagi tribute. Listen, Frank Sagi, and I'll tell everybody at work and everybody I can, he is the best announcer we've ever heard. And I've been in this business for several years. Frank could make a race. He could make a race a race. It was amazing. He's an amazing guy.
Your favorite memory of Frank Sagi, if you could just point out one, and I know you got several.
I got several, but I'm going to tell you what, when my wife and I got married, we got married at 6 o'clock and was at Winchester at 8 o'clock racing. And I told her, we're running for points, and you cannot miss races when you're running for points. So we come to Hagerstown the next day, and Frank Sagi pumped that up that Dave Wilt just got married last night. So he was hammering that all evening.
Yeah, he was fun. And like I said, when I first came here in 97, I knew I had big shoes to fill. And to this very day, many decades later, still very big shoes to fill. Never going to be big enough. All I can do is do my own thing and create my own style. Sagi style will always be revered forever.
I sure miss him. I tell you what, I sure miss him. And I really enjoyed him. And like I say, he really, really pumped the racing up. He pumped all the late models, the limiteds, and everybody up, including myself. So I'm so thankful to have him in my racing career.
Well, Dave, we've got some wonderful items courtesy of Rick Harbaugh and the folks at KRS Motorsports to honor you to be the latest and the third inductee tonight into the Frank Sagi Ring of Honor. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up. One of the top limited late model drivers in the region, Dave Wilt. All right, we're going to get started with our warm-ups coming up for the semi-late drivers. And if you want to see our honorees, they'll still be around tonight. So stop on down, get an autograph with one of our drivers. And we're going to get a group photo with our three latest inductees, Barry Kleindienst, Steve Wilt, and the legendary Booper Bear. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your patience. You don't get to see this very often. Some legends who helped build our sport and fine-tune it. And we thank them very much. And again, for Alan Sagi and what he's done. All right, so this young gentleman here, a little bit younger than me, he's always one of the first ones here at the racetrack. He sets his blanket up. He's probably what I'm going to be like if I can get to, well, I don't know. I'm going to tell on you. I don't know what your age is. Maybe you're younger than me. But if I wasn't announcing and I'm just a diehard fan like he is, I'll be doing the same thing. Coming to the racetrack, setting my blanket up, going back out and waiting for the cars to come into the pit area. But a few weeks ago, Ron asked me if he could say the words that Frank Sagi said every night to crank things up. I missed it year number 1. I think we said it last year, but it's only fitting. Instead of me as the announcer doing it, thank you, Rick Harbaugh. And thank you, Rick Harbaugh, once again. Those beautiful plaques and also all the great things that Rick has done. But if you don't remember what Frank Sagi said at the beginning of the night, Ron, tell him what question he asked everybody.
Who's got the hot shoe tonight?
There you go. And with that said, we're ready to go. Ron, thank you so much. One of our diehard fans here at the Hagerstown Speedway. All right, we're done down here with our Ring of Honor. We're about set for on-track action here tonight at Hagerstown. Again, Super Late Model drivers, you are going to be coming up for your warm-up shortly. Super Late Model drivers, please get ready. Your warm-ups will be coming up. Check her down on our semi-late drivers, as we mentioned. 14 entries in the pits tonight. 1C of Steve Kent, two-time winner and current point leader in semi-late competition. Right now, number 1 on the board. All right, warm-ups for our semi-late division wrapping up. The 1C of Steve Kent will be tops on the board, 21. right, group number 1 wrapping up, and Kyle Hardy flying in that 45 right now, 18.802 seconds right now. All right, Group 2 wrapping up. 91 GT Spence. He is looking for a big weekend. Tomorrow, the Jimmy Spence Memorial at Winchester Speedway, as we mentioned, $6,091 going to that feature event winner. All right, checkered coming down on our latest group, 44, Sean Shoemaker, fastest of that group right now. Sean, 5th overall. All right, all said and done, 66. Matt Cosner out of West Virginia. Long overdue for that driver. He's looking for some good fortune tonight. All right, group number 1 of our Pure Stocks wrapping up with their warm-ups. Keith Reed in that 8 machine right now, 23.684.
For drivers, debris in turn 4, stay high in 4. High in 4, guys, there's debris and a track worker. All right, Pure Stock warm-ups wrapping up. Looks like the 17L, Randy Lindenberg, he'll be fastest on the night. Sagi Tribute, 2023 was Greg Satterley, and then last year again, we had twin races with Kyle Hardy and Dylan Yoder coming away as the winners. All right, set to do time trials tonight, and the gentleman that found his way to victory lane at the Sagi Tribute a year ago back on track at the 45, that's Kyle Hardy out of Stevens City, Virginia. Car number 11, Trevor Collins out of Seaford, Delaware, will make his way out, and the all-time leading late model feature winner at Hagerstown Speedway, Gary Stuhler, in the number 4 at Greencastle, Pennsylvania. 139 victories for that veteran. 3 very top-notch drivers kick off our super late model time trials here tonight in Hagerstown. Hardy in the 45, making his way back to the stripe. He'll set the bar early here this evening. Time's going to be at 18.335. The lap for Trevor Collins as he goes by. Going to be at 18.776, and for Gary Stuhler, 18.660. That time by. So Hardy right now leads the field as they come back for the second and final lap. Hardy's second lap. 18.234 will be the top time for Hardy right now. Collins is going to be at 18.547. Stuhler will move up into the number 2 spot. Gary Stuhler right now 18.463 as we open up super late model time trials. So again, 18.234 for Kyle Hardy. That is the top time right now. Again, as we mentioned, the track record is 17.089, set by Greg Satterley back in 2018. All right, next group of drivers out, the 1W, Mike Bowles out of Hanover, Pennsylvania. Joining him, going to be the 17 of Wayne Johnson out of Hancock, Maryland. And the 24, Rick Eckert out of York, Pennsylvania, 26-time super late model winner here at Hagerstown Speedway. All right, Walls going by for lap number 1, 18.532. 17 of Wayne Johnson having trouble. Eckert in the 24. He'll go by 18.337 for Eckert. Of Eckert back to the stripe. And and he'll clock in second fastest, 18.326 right now for Rick Eckers. Kyle Hardy still up top, 18.234. Eckert will be second, Gary Stoller in third, with Walls and Collins right now the early top five. Problems with the 17 of Wayne Johnson early, and then the 1W Mike Walls. He only took that one lap, and then he pulled her in as well. All right, group number 3 of our Super Late Models making their way out onto the track. This will be the number 1 machine, Gene Knob, out of Dover, Pennsylvania. Always a very stout Super Late Model driver. Car number 01, Matt Glendon, out of Denton, Maryland, will be the second one out. And the 4S, powered by Danny Schneider, out of Green Lane, Pennsylvania. Back to the stripe, and Jeep will be second, 18.284. 01 of Glendon. He's going across the stripe. A bit further down as the 4S of Danny Schneider taking his time. Likewise, Schneider will be at 18.861. That will be number 7 on the board. Here comes Knob trying to see the gate to the top. He'll do it. Gene Knob right now number 1, 18.180. And Glendon tops on the board, 18.172 for the driver in a Denton, Maryland, and then 01 machine. Final lap for Danny Schneider in the 4S machine. Danny will be 8th on the board right now, 18.666. But Matt Glendon in the 01 and 18.172 right now tops in our Super Late Model time trial. 50 and Ricky Thornton Jr. coming away with the victory on that night. All right, Satterley set to go. He leaves the staging area. We get set for group number 2 of our Super Late Model time trials here this evening. 5J of Brayton Jones out of Cherryville, North Carolina will also be in this group as well. And the third and final car, the 68, Nathan LaSalle from Invert, Pennsylvania. The Truth making his way back to the stripe. 18.021 for Satterley. Jones will be at 18.613. And the 68 of Nathan LaSalle back to the stripe. 18.730. All right, Satterley's 18.021. That will be number 1 on the board right now. That will be his best lap. Jones 18.613. That will be his best. He'll be number 2 in Group 2. And the 68, Nathan LaSalle, 18.711. That will be his best time as well as Group number 2 gets underway. And Satterley right now shows the way. All right, second group. Making their way out. He was well up on the board in warm-ups. The 91 of J.T. Spence out of Winchester, Virginia. Also on track, the 32J, Sean Jones out of Shermansdale, Pennsylvania. And your current Hagerstown Late Model Sportsman point leader, the 37F of Wesley Bonebrake out of Hagerstown. Spence back to the line, and for JT, that's going to be an 18.171. He'll be second overall right now in group number 2. 32J of Sean Jones checking in third, 18.560. Bonebrake in that 37F coming back to the line. Lap number 1 for Wesley. He will be at 19.748. Second and final lap for JT Spence, 18.171. He'll stay second. Jones in the 32J, second lap, 18.560 will be his best lap time. He'll be third. And the 37F of Bonebrake back to the stripe for his second and final lap. And he'll knock it down to a 19.391, and that will right now have him in the number 6 position. So right now, Satterley, the leader of Group 2, J.T. Spence, Sean Jones, Brayton Jones, and Nathan LaSalle are currently your top 5. Here comes another 2-time Sagi Tribute winner, the 72, Trevor Feathers out of Winchester, Virginia. The 119 being powered by Brian Bernheisel out of Jonestown, Pennsylvania. And the 22B, Chase Billett out of Dover, Pennsylvania. All right, right now with Feathers coming back to the stripe. Bad news, no hit on that car. Transponder issues on that. The 119 of Bernheisel, he'll be third at 18.548. And back to the stripe, Chase Billett, 21.245 for the 22B. Final lap for our trio, 119 of Bernheisel. He will be number 3 on the second group, 18.305. And the 22B of Chase Billett, he had some troubles off at turn number 4. 21.245 will be his best time. No time recorded on the 72. Transponder issues on that car. No time on the 72. All right, fans, if you're looking for some extra T-shirts, some type of souvenir, Rick Harbaugh is down at the turn 1 end of the grandstands right now. So if you're looking for some extra stuff, some souvenirs, Rick Harbaugh down there in the turn 1 end of the grandstands if you want to go down and get some T-shirts. All right, hopefully things are corrected on that 72. Feathers back on track. White flag out. Trevor Feathers trying to see if we can get a lap. And still nothing on the 72 at Trevor Feathers, so they're still trying to correct that situation on that Winchester, Virginia driver. All right, still trying to get the 72 resolved, and that is a final car in Group B of qualifying tonight here at Hagerstown. 4 groups of qualifying for the Supers, so looks like the 72 about to make his way back out onto the track, and hopefully the third time's a charm. We have got some hits on the 72. Good news for Trevor Feathers fans, and now he'll play for keeps. Down the back straightaway, looking for lap number 1 in that Cameron Band 72. The winner picking up his first for that team in the Potomac Speedway just a week ago. Feathers goes second in Group 2, 18.148 will be his time, 146 actually. Satterley, that 18.021 is what he's trying to top here. Rolling through turn 3 and 4. Feathers bringing it back to the stripe and trying to see what he can put on the board. Feathers back to the line. He will be second. 18.146 will be his best lap time. And Greg Satterley will be fastest of Group 2 in our Super Late Model Time Trials here this evening.
And we've got good communication with everybody out there.
All right, Group 3 of Super Late Model Time Trials about to make their way out. 000, powered by Matt Naylor out of Newville, Pennsylvania, will be the first driver out. In our third group this evening, the 8, that beautiful car of Matt Spinagle on a Wiley Ford, West Virginia. Also coming out, and the 121 powered by Larry Niederer out of Landisville, Pennsylvania. All right, Naylor back to the stripe of the 000. He'll kick it off, 18.656 on lap number 1. Spinagle in the number 8 machine back to the line. His first lap, 18.381. We'll put him tops off the board for the moment. Niederer's 121, 18.869 on that first circuit. And the second lap will be a wash for the 000. Naylor puts the blade down and digs up a little dirt in the infield area. Spinagle back to the stripe, 18.499. Will be his best lap time, and Niederer in the 121 coming back to the line, 18.684. That will keep him in the number 3 spot. All right, next Next up, 41, powered by Dale Murphy out of Stevensville, Maryland. That Ken Festerman car. Our defending late model sportsman champion, Sean Shoemaker, in the 44, out of Mount Union, Pennsylvania. And also out in the 0 by Andrew Yoder, Middleburg, Pennsylvania. And looking to see what Yoder can do. He has had some success in super and limited late model action. A lot of victories in Central PA this year, mainly up at the Port Royal Speedway. As Murphy brings him back to the stripe, and the 41 machine, 18.890, lap number 1 for Murphy. Here comes the 44, Shoemaker, trying to make a dent in that group. And right now, Shoemaker will be tops, 18.357. Yoder in the 0Y, right now third, 18.517. Final lap for Murphy in the number 41, 18.890. That will have him number 6 on board. 44 at Shoemaker. He's tops right now, 18.187. And here comes Yoder, the 0Y, back to the stripe. And Yoder will be third in group number 2 at 18.421. It's a good lap for the defending late model sportsman champ here at Hagerstown. The 44 of Sean Shoemaker right now, 18.817, leading here in Group 3. All right, 24, Kenny Moreland in the Waldorf, Maryland. Next driver up on the racetrack. Another one of our top late-level sportsman drivers, the 99 BA, Cody Lear in Manchester, Maryland. And also out in action tonight, the 25, Cody Leiter out of Lewistown, Pennsylvania. All right, 24 Moreland back to the line. 19.239 for Kenny. Cody Lear, 19.734. 25 Cody Leiter, lap number 1 for him. Second lap for Moreland, going to be an 18.545. As the 25, a Leiter making his way back and may not have a pickup on him either. 25, a Leiter, no laps on him in this Group 3 qualifying. All right, we'll get that solved for Cody Leiter. The 25 will head to the scale area, see if they can mount a new transponder on him, and go from there. All right, here comes the 2019 Sagi Tribute Champion, the 2T, Kyle Lee, out of Mercersburg, Pennsylvania. The 08 being powered by Keith Koontz. Also on track right now. And the 66, he was fastest in late model warm-ups at originally West Virginia. Matt Cosner looking to see if he can transition that to top qualifying effort here tonight. Lee, a 3-time Hagerstown Speedway late model winner. One of those Sagi Tribute honors. He works it back to the line. 18.325 for Kyle Lee on lap number 1. 08 of Keith Koontz coming across the stripe. 17.994 for Cosner. He is the only driver to get down under the 18-second bracket. 18.387 that time by for Kyle Lee. Here comes the 08 of Keith Koontz. And that's a 19.339. Cosner back to the stripe. 18.002. Boy, that's a good one, but he was in the 17s for Matt Cosner earlier. Still not to the track record, but Matt Cosner is on target right now tonight in super late model action. Cosner brought down the thunder on that one as he set the fast time so far, but unfortunately some rain showers coming through the area right now. So obviously we are in a holding pattern until we can see what this does.
right, super drivers, I just need you to head right back down to the front of the row there. Right down to the front. We'll get you back out for your time trials.
Tonight, located in St. Thomas, Pennsylvania. Once again, they specialize in major and minor automotive repair, Pennsylvania State inspection, and enhanced inspection. So we get our things out to B&B Automotive, another one of our many sponsors for the 2025 season here at the Hagerstown Speedway. All right, qualifying resuming in group number 3, the redo. Here we go, off at turn number 4, 000, Matt Naylor out of Newville, Pennsylvania, back on track right now. Joined by the 8 of Matt Spinagle out of Wiley Ford, West Virginia. And the third car out going to be Larry Niederer, the 121 out of Landisville, PA. White flag in the air, 18.744 that time by for Naylor, the 8 of Spinagle. He'll go to an 18.916 that time by. 121 of Niederer. He will be second in this group at 18.888. Naylor bringing the 000 back to the stripe. Another one of our late model sportsman regulars. Right now he's tops in group number 3 at 18.637. 8 of Spinagle back to the stripe. Spinagle 18.916 will be his best time. That will be third on the board right now. And Niederer in the 121, 18.629. So he will lead that first trio of drivers in Group 3 qualifying tonight. All right, second group in our third overall group of late model qualifying. The 41 of Dale Murphy out of Stevensville, Maryland, making his way onto the racetrack right now. The 44, as we mentioned, defending late model sportsman champion here at Hagerstown Speedway, that being Sean Shoemaker in Mount Union, Pennsylvania. And the 0Y, Andrew Yoder out of Middleburg, PA. Group 4 late model time trials. Group 4 late model time trials to the staging area, please. Murphy 18.985 that time by, 18.466. We'll put Shoemaker now tops on the board. Yoder with an 18.391 on lap number 1. So he'll be tops in group number 3 right now. Murphy back for an 18.985. Right now that has him in 6th position. Shoemaker was tops before things hit, and that's an 18.448. And it will be an 18.365 that time by for Yoder. So the 0Y of Yoder right now tops in group number 3 of late model qualifying. All right, group 4 of our third overall group coming out. The 24, Kenny Moreland out of Waldorf, Maryland. The 99 BA, Cody Lear out of Manchester, Maryland. And the 25, powered by Cody Leiter, also out on the track, hailing out of Lewistown, PA. Kenny Moreland, 18.361. He's tops on the board right now. Cody Lear with a 19.783. And the 25, Cody Leiter back for lap number 1. His time on the board as he comes by. And Cody Leiter wrapping things up as Kenny Moreland goes by in the 24, 18.295. Drops it down just a little bit more. Cody Lear, 19.339. Cody Leiter in the 25 back to the stripe, 19.586 was lap number 1. He drops it to a 19.429. So Moreland, the 24M, right now 18.295. Play along weekly for the chance to become the Fantasy Racing Season Champion. The top teams in fantasy points at the end of the year. First place will get a 2026 Season Pass, plus Hagerstown Speedway apparel and 1 free MRP Fantasy Racing shirt. Second place, $100 gift card. Third place, $75 gift card. Fourth will get $50, and fifth, $25 gift card and a lot of merchandise to go along with it. All right, latest group out going to be the 2 of Kyle Lee out of Mercersburg, Pennsylvania. The 08 powered by Keith Koontz out of Boonesboro, Maryland. And back on track. Let's see what he can do. Testing him, the 66C, Matt Cosner out of Ridgely, West Virginia. He's been fastest in warm-ups, fastest in time trials. Let's see what he can do on his second attempt. Lee, 18.172. Very good lap. For the Mercersburg PA driver, the 08 of Keith Kuntz, 19.676. Cosner, 17.924. Continues to drop it below the 18-second barrier. Lee back to the stripe. Good first lap. Second lap, 18.172 will be his best. That was an 18.375. The 08 of Kuntz will be a 19.561. And Cosner, identical time, 17.916 for the driver of the 66, and still the only one to get under 18 seconds tonight. So Matt Cosner lost nothing there in his third, making second attempt at Super Late Model Time Trials. All right, the 00, Tyler Baird of Rockbridge Baths, Virginia, next on the track. The 0, Dale Hollidge out of Clements, Maryland. And the 14 of Cody Breeden out of Fairplay, Maryland, a one-time late model sportsman winner here in Hagerstown. There in the 00, bringing him down off the turn 4 area. Our latest group of Group 4 in Super Late Model Time Trials. White flag is out for Tyler. He will be an 18.889. Hollidge, 18.377. Right now that puts him in third. Cody Breeden at that 14. He'll be a 19.268 there on lap number 1. Final lap for this trio of Super Late Model drivers coming back to the stripe there in the 00. 18.835 will be his best lap time. Hollidge, 18.331. Right now he's third. 14 of Cody Breeden back to the stripe. He'll be a 19.268 on his second lap. So Cosner with that 17.916, still the overall fast time in Super Late Model qualifying. Once again, Pure Mega Simulate drivers for your heat events. Simulate drivers for your heat events. We need you to the staging area. Simulate drivers for heat races. To the staging area, please. All right, looks like the final group of drivers in Super Late Model qualifying. 2J Justin Weaver out of Clear Spring, Maryland. 77 Randy Burkholder out of Chambersburg, PA. And the B2 Brian Booz out of Greencastle, Pennsylvania. Weaver, 18.576 that time by. Burkholder, 19.466. And Brian Booz, right now sixth in this group, 19.219, as our final three drivers wrap up their Super Late Model Time Trials here this evening. Weaver back to the line. Justin will be at 18.543. That will have him fourth on the board. 77 to Burkholder. He will wind up in the number 8 spot, 19.466. And the final lap, Brian Booz, he'll be in the number 6 spot at 19.219. So it looks like Matt Cosner, originally West Virginia, 17.916. Top qualifier tonight in our Frank Sagi Tribute Super Late Model Time Trials. 54, Dylan Rutherford out of Front Royal, Virginia, starting up front. 70, a Mike Grady out of Winchester on his outside. 65, a Dylan Wilson from Cassville, PA. And the 25, a Jeremy Mills out of Berkeley Springs, West Virginia. B1, Nick Bechtel out of Martinsburg, PA. The 81G, a one-time winner, Jason Giesemann from Anvil. And your point leader, Steve Kent in the 1C. All right, lap number 1 of 5 in the books. The one-time winner, 65, Dylan Wilson. Out to the lead, Grady, the 70. He's in second spot down the back straightaway. Kent, the two-time winner and current point leader, making a good surge down in 3 and 4. He's on the outside, looking for that third position as Wilson brings him back. Kent does a crossover right in front of the 54, Rutherford, and down to the inside of the 70 of Mike Grady, trying to get his car right up there in the number 2 spot. Grady back to third, Rutherford, then the 81 of Jason Giesemann, top 5 as they come back for lap number 3. 2 to go in qualifier number 1. Semi-Lates, heat race number 2. You need to be in the staging area. Semi-Late drivers, heat race number 2. To the staging area, please. Well, 5 laps about to go on the board in qualifier number 1. Dylan Wilson in the 65. He'll come back. Steve Kent was on the charge, but Wilson will take qualifier number 1 tonight. Kent will be second. 70 of Mike Brady in third. 54 of Dylan Rutherford, your pole sitter, and the 81 of Jason Giesemann. They'll wind up in the top 5 in our first 5-lap qualifier tonight. All right, field stacked up down in turn 3 and 4. Super late model heat races coming up next as we get set for the final 5-lap qualifier in semi-late action tonight here at Hagerstown. Kearns and Brennan, winners this year, a pair of Virginia drivers. And look at Brennan with that crossover down to the inside. He grabs the lead off of turn number 2. It'll be Kearns, a car length back in second. Miller in the 88Z up to third. 3D of Shane McQuay right now fourth. 17 of Potter down to the inside, trying to grab that 5th spot away from the 21 of Stoner. Stoner's up for the challenge, and he will remain in 5th. 38 right there, Kevin Kuntz in the 6th position. Kearns climbs the banking and 1 and 2 problems on the 83, and he slows over in that turn 2 area. Caution will be out, 1 lap complete here in our simulated event. The 83 of Brian Kearns, our pole sitter, having issues over in turn 1 and 2. Trickles down the banking, and we'll see if he heads off into the pit area. Restart off turn number 4. Brandon up to the gearbox quickly. 2x2 racing behind him as they head off into 1 and 2. Isaiah Miller, third race back to the 88Z. Nothing but problems for that young driver. With so much talent. Right now, he's trying to dial it back in. He has second. Here comes a 38 of Kuntz on the outside. Kearns again with trouble. He's off the pace down the back straightaway as Brandon brings him back for lap number 2. Going to be Miller in second. Kuntz in the 38 moving his way up into third. Side-by-side battle between McQuay and Jason Stoner down in turn number 1 and 2, with Stoner getting the edge off that second turn. Kearns again puts the 83 in the pit area, and we go 2 laps to go this time by. Super Late Models, heat race number 1 to the staging area, please. Super Late Models, heat race number 1 to the staging area. All right, field single file. They'll come back for the white flag. This time. All right, final lap off turn number 4. Alan Brennan in the 11 will check in for the second simulate heat race victory. Isaiah Miller will come home in second. Good run for the 38 of Kevin Kuntz. He'll wind up third. 21 of Jason Stoner and the 3D of Shane McQuay. They'll be the top 5 in our second and final simulate heat race run tonight. And then Super Late Models, their 35-lap main event. Tops on the board tonight feature-wise, followed by Simulates and Pure Stocks tonight. All right, Matt Glendon out of Denton, Maryland, the 01. Car number 1, Gene Knob out of Dover, Pennsylvania on the front row. Again, 10 laps of distance, 8 laps of distance, I should say, top 5 to qualify. Glendon takes him down into 1 and 2. Kyle Hardy, defending champ, 45. He had a good lap time earlier tonight. He puts that 45 machine up into second. Here comes Eckert on the inside of Gene Knob in the battle for third. It'll be Glendon leading lap number 1. Hardy in second. Knob will win the battle with Eckert and hold on to third for the moment. And on the outside, behind them, Trevor Collins out of Seaford, Delaware. He's on the high side. Gary Stuhler trying to get that transfer spot. Top 5 make it. So he and Collins side by side for the bubble position as Glendon continues to have a good run. Way wide that time. Trevor Collins just missing the outside wall. And that opens the door for Gary Stuhler to get that 5th and final transfer spot for the moment. So Glendon, 6 or 7 car lengths over Kyle Hardy right now. They're running right up in that high groove. Coming back for lap number 3, Gene Knob in 2nd. He's distanced himself a little bit from that battle with Rick Eckert. And right now, Gary Stuhler, he is 4th, making 5th. But Collins on a mission has gathered it back up, and he's on the charge trying to get that transfer position. Right behind him, Danny Schneider and the 1W Mikey Walls. They're trying to see if they can get up there and have something to say about getting into this late model feature. As halfway went on the board that time by. 4 in the books and 4 to go, and Hardy is pedaling hard. Car length separation. Kyle Hardy, he's coming to life here in the latter stages of tonight's first qualifier. Almost spun it off turn number 4, had it cocked sideways. And that lost him several car lengths to Matt Glendon. And problems in turn 4, the 4S. Matt Schneider, Danny Schneider spins it in turn number 4, just past the halfway point. Well, speaking of Gary Stuhler, don't forget, if you want to take some chances on that 124th scale diecast car, there are tickets to be had down there at the Gary Stuhler tent. And don't forget the 50-50 benefiting the American Heart Association. And 50-50 coming up here in just a little bit. Green flag in the meantime, back in the air. And they all go single file as soon as they fan out off of turn number 4. Hardy immediately went to the bottom at turn number 2. And here comes Rick Eckert. He's to the inside. And Gene Knob, the 24, grabs that number 3 spot. Hardy to the bottom side of Matt Glendon. Good battle, but Glendon still got it covered. 2 laps to go here in qualifier number 1. Hardy in his tire tracks in 2nd. Eckert right in the bottom groove. Hardy a little out of shape. Eckert on the gas. He's going to close that gap up. Knob is right there as well. Stuhler still in the transfer spot. Collins right on that rear deck lid. Checkered, meanwhile, about to come out in a moment. White flag this time. Glendon, a little breathing room here on the final circuit. And Collins will get that number 5 spot around the outside of Gary Stuhler. He had to ease up a little bit as he got close to the wall. Stuhler closes the gap. It's going to be Glendon in the 01. Taking heat race number 1. Kyle Hardy, Rick Eckert, Gene Knob, and Trevor Collins. He'll be the top 5 in the first 8-lap qualifier tonight. So Matt Glendon, great job in that 01 machine in a Denton, Maryland, staving off the efforts of defending champ Kyle Hardy in the 45. Ken Satterley, the 2021 and 2023 Frank Sagi Tribute winner. And Trevor Feathers, also a driver that has scored victories here, the 2017 and 2022 winner. 4 wins in the Frank Sagi Tribute. They're on the front row, the 91 of JT Spence. Going to be running for Jimmy Spence tomorrow here at Hagerstown Speedway. Green flag in the air. Qualifier number 2. It'll be Satterley grabbing the lead off that second turn. JT Spence to the inside of Feathers. He'll get second. Feathers, a good head of steam down the back straightaway. Playing catch up. Here comes the 119 of Brian Bernheisel back there in the number 4 position. And he'll be down to the bottom side. That's the 32J of Sean Jones. Right now he's 5th. Braden Jones in the 5J, rounding out the top 6 machines. Satterley with a good run and good lead. Spence already in 2nd spot. Bernheisel putting the pressure on the 72 of Feathers as he work it back for lap number 2. Satterley in control in that 22, as we mentioned, picking up the Appalachian Speedway victory and championship last night at the Selinsgrove Speedway. Trying to get back on the win track here at Hagerstown. He did the sweep back in 2023. Looking for that first victory of 2025 here at Hagerstown. 91 of JT Spence, solid run in 2nd spot. 72 of Trevor Feathers able to fend off Bernheisel for the moment, but Brian getting a good run off those corners. And right on that rear deck lid, 32J of Sean Jones remains in 5th. He's got the transfer spot, and right now comfortable in that position with the 68 of Nathan LaSalle, closing just a little bit. Tightest battle would be for 5th as the 37F of West Bone Break heads it off into the pit area. Nathan LaSalle, the 68, closing the gap up. Only a few car lengths over the 32J of Sean Jones. And that battle for the transfer position tonight. Satterley setting sail, and he's got about a turn advantage here with 2 laps to go. Meanwhile, Feathers coming to life. He got away from Bernheisel, closing up on JT Spence as they work down the back straightaway. White flag in the air this time by. Final lap, and Feathers looking to see if he can win one more spot. Spence has him covered down the back straightaway, but all the while, the 22G, Greg Satterley, taking the late model qualifier number 2. 91 of JT Spence, the 72 of Trevor Feathers, the 119 of Brian Bernheisel, and the 32J of Sean Jones. They'll be the 4 or 5 qualifiers that make it into tonight's 35-lap late model event. All right, Sean Shoemaker, defending late model sportsman champion at Hagerstown Speedway. The 24 Kenny Moreland, always a very stout machine, no matter where he goes. 0Y, Andrew Yoder, as we mentioned, a multi-time limited and super late model winner in Central PA this year. 8 of Matt Spinagle, they are the top 2 rows as we get set for green in heat race number 3. Almost a 3-wide battle. Moreland gets the edge on Shoemaker on the outside of turn number 2 as they head down into 3 and 4. It'll be Shoemaker in second spot. Coming on to the inside, Yoder will hold on to third. Spinagle and Matt Naylor in that 000 right now, early top 5. Larry Niederer in the 121 back there in 6th as Moreland stretches it out to about 5 car lengths advantage here on lap number 2. Naylor working on Spinagle. He's trying to get off the bubble as they work it back for that second circuit. And the 121 of Niederer coming to life right now as he closes in on 6th. Yoder working on Shoemaker. Not to be. Shoemaker the high side momentum and spinner off turn 2. That's Larry Niederer, the 121. Running 6th at the time. Niederer loops it off at turn 2. Cat fans, during the course of the evening, we ask everybody, please stay off the fence for your safety and safety of others. If you have not seen videos from other racetracks, things can happen and happen very fast and be very deadly if things get out of control. So for your safety and everyone's safety, please, during the course of the night, stay off that fence area. Plenty of room in our grandstands to enjoy our racing here at the Speedway. All right, 2 laps complete here in our third 8-lap qualifier. Kenny Moreland at the point, Shoemaker. He'll be on the inside of Yoder, Spinagle, and Naylor as we get set to resume. All right, green back out. Moreland takes him back into 1 and 2. Naylor has trouble. He loses that transfer spot. The 41 of Dale Murphy gets around him. Niederer already up into 7th. Here comes Cody Leiter as Naylor drops back through the field. Meanwhile, Moreland brings him back to the line for lap 3. 0Y of Andrew Yoder in second spot. Third, the 44 of Sean Shoemaker. 8 of Matt Spinagle, they're the top 4. They are comfortable in their positions. 41 of Murphy right now 5th. He's got Niederer on the rear deck lid, looking to see if he can race his way into the field. And Yoder beginning to turn the wick up on Moreland here at halfway. Down to the inside goes Yoder. Moreland's got the high side advantage off of turn number 2. He'll keep it wound up and keep a car length advantage back at turn 3 and 4. Yoder again, diving right down to the bottom, slide job right in front of Moreland, and Andrew Yoder grabs a lead here on the front straightaway. 000 of Pat McNeil hits the pits, and Yoder hits the front of the field by about 5 car lengths. Moreland now in second, Shoemaker, Spinagle, and give the 5th spot to Larry Niederer in the 121, getting around Dale Murphy. Two to go that time by. Andrew Yoder, you knew it was only a matter of time. That 0Y has been red hot this year. And right now looking to see if he can claim the third late model qualifier as he works off a turn number 4. Yoder taking the white flag. Moreland solid in second. Shoemaker, Spinagle. And right now the 121 of Larry Niederer would be the 5 that make it in. Jackard coming out, and Andrew Yoder in the 0Y coming away with the victory in heat race number 3. 24, Kenny Moreland winds up in second. 44 of Sean Shoemaker. It'll be the 8 of Matt Spinago and the 121 of Larry Niederer, our latest top 5 to make it in.
A very good run for Andrew Yoder. Pole move down in 3 and 4.
66 of Cosner grabbing that lead. Problems for Weaver. He got high up in the marbles, and he'll lose a ton of spots 3 wide between he, Booz, and Cody Breed moments ago. But Cosner will lead it back to the stripe. Meanwhile, Clements, Maryland driver, Dale Holland to the inside of Mercersburg PA's Kyle Lee. And they battle for second spot. Right now, Holland sticking right to the bottom of the racetrack, right on that left rear quarter panel of Kyle Lee. 00, Tyler Bear currently in fourth. And Brian Booz in that transfer spot, but not for long, to the inside. A challenge, and he'll still hold it, but Justin Weaver trying to make up what he lost early. All the while, Cosner setting sail on that 66C. Lee wins the battle with Hollage. Bear by himself, and then the battle for the transfer spot. Weaver and Booz, they go hammer and tong down in turn number 3 and 4. Weaver's going to drag race it back to the stripe and take the 5th spot. Four quick laps on the board tonight here at Hagerstown in the 4th and final late model qualifier. All Matt Cosner. Ever since he unloaded off the trailer, that 66C has been in a different zip code. And right now he's got about a half-turn lead on Kyle Lee. Dale Hollage solid in 3rd. Tyler Bear in 4th, but Weaver making the comeback. Almost ran right in the back of the 00. Had to check up, but he holds on to 5th. B2 of Brian Booz on the outside, looking in with 5 laps complete, 2 to go when they come back to the stripe. Weaver not 100% set as Booz won't let him out of his sights. 2 to go, this time by for Cosner. Top 3 have checked out. Tyler Bear under attack. It's going to be Weaver getting off the bubble and going to the inside to the Virginia driver with the white flag in the air for Matt Cosner, this time by. Off at turn number 4, Cosner, the originally West Virginia driver, taking the victory in qualifier number 4 tonight here at Hagerstown. Kyle Lee in the 2T will come home second. The 0 of Dale Hollage will wind up third. Fourth will be the 2J of Justin Weaver. Good comeback for him with the 00. Tyler Bear making up the top 5. So that good run continuing for the originally West Virginia driver, Matt Cosner, in the 66C, claiming the 4th and final Super Late Model Heat Race win. All right, 2 laps complete here in tonight's Pure Stock main event. 62 and Dylan Beavers right now in front.
Yellow, stay low in 2, stay low in 2. Yellow, stay low in 2. Yellow. Yellow, debris on the front stretch, stay low on the front stretch.
We're out, Calvin, you need me?
right, 9 laps complete that time by Gary Stuhler. Right now has got the lead. Braden Jones in the 5J in second spot. B2 of Brian Booz holding on to third. 68 of Nathan LaSalle in fourth. Battle for fifth. Give it to the 14 of Cody Breeden. That gets him in a transfer position right now with the B99. Or 99 BA, we should say, of Cody Lear as they come back for 2 laps to go. White flag in the as they go back into turn number 1 and 2. Going to be final lap for Gary Stuhler. Braden Jones keeping him honest, about 2 car lengths back at the number 2 position. Again, Brian Booz, Nathan LaSalle, Cody Lear, and Cody Breeden right now. They are the 6 that would get in. Gary Stuhler transfers his way in tonight. Braden Jones will come home in second. And to be the B2 of Brian Booz, 68 of Nathan LaSalle, 99 BA of Cody Lear, and the 14 of Cody Breeden. They'll be the 6 drivers that make it into tonight's super late model field. All right, fans, our apologies, dealing with some PA issues on the grandstand side. We understand they can hear us in the pit area, but the grandstand amp a little warm tonight and needs to get cooled down, so it looks like the amp has kind of hurt us a little bit on the grandstand side, trying to get that repaired as we get set for the opening ceremonies tonight here in the Frank Sagi tribute.
Well, race fans, I'm down here on the front stretch with fast time recipient Matt Cosner. Matt, you were a little worried. You said fast time not once but twice tonight.
Yeah, I had to do it twice. I don't know if Sagi's going to pay me twice or not, though. But, yeah, I was a little bit worried, obviously, having to go again. I saw that dust starting to fly whenever the third group was hot lapping, and I really didn't think that I would be able to go a 9 again. But luckily, the car's pretty good, and we were able to do it twice.
We talked to you earlier. You said a brand new car, fast out of the box. That's huge whenever you can do that. It gives you a lot of momentum, especially going into the night's feature. Looks like the track's taking a little bit of rubber. You're going to have to make a little bit of adjustment on that chassis.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Obviously, it's first night on this car. We don't really have any notes on it, so we're going to throw something at it here, not change too much. Obviously, Greg's always the one to beat here, so you know, I don't know if we're starting heads up or what, but just got to keep pace, 35 laps, and we'll see what we can do. Excellent.
Well, I'm going to get Alan over here. Alan's got a check for you. Looks like it's $200 for fast time. Oh, he's got 2 checks for him. We'll step out of the way here. Tire Guy Enterprise, fast time recipient, $200. Dylan Wilson is going to roll the dice for the invert for the semi-lates. Dylan, we're going to have you roll the dice and see where you start and what type of invert we have. That dice is big enough that would knock somebody out. Let's see what he's got. It looks like it's going to be a 2. That's not bad, starting on the front row, and we're going to have him draw as well. All right, now this is for the hobby stock or pure stock roll. Look out, we're going to have a 2. Are we good with that? Are we doing a redraw or not? We're going with 2. All right. So both support divisions will be inverted with 2. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as we always do here at the Hagerstown Speedway, if you are able, please rise. And gentlemen, remove your hats. As we have prayer, again, please rise if you are able. And gentlemen, remove your hats. Our prayer tonight is with Brent Hoddle from Winchester, Virginia. Brent.
Thank you, Danny. Let's bow our heads. Father God, we come to you humbly, thankful for such a beautiful day here on your earth. You give us such a beautiful place just to roam freely and just enjoy the beautiful sights that you create. It's just, every creation is just so beautiful, so wondrous within its own. We can't thank you enough for the start of each day as you give us the breath of life and the ability to rise up out of bed and just walk around and do all the tasks that we want. Father, I just ask that you put a cover of protection over each and every driver, crew member, track official, and fan here tonight, Father, and allow them all to have safe travel mercies as they go home. We all love this sport so much, but we want to do it safely, and we know you can protect us as all. And Father, I ask you bless each and every sponsor that supports this speedway and these race cars. Allow their business to continue to flourish so they can support these teams and keep these facilities open and keep these cars competitive. Father, again, I just welcome you with open arms. Just walk among these grandstands. Touch anybody that might need a little extra touch. You know who that is. You know what their need is. Walk among these pit areas. Sit down and just enjoy the races with us. Because without you, Father, we wouldn't have anything at all. And we know if we put our lives in your hands, Father, nothing can or will hurt us. We just ask that you just guide us down your path so that we can do your work, continue to do your glory, Father. We thank you for everything you do. And I pray these things in your Son Jesus' precious holy name. Amen.
Here they go, ladies and gentlemen. 4 wide salute coming up here at the Hagerstown Speedway, here in the latest edition of the Frank Sagi Tribute. As they go 4 wide, down in turn number 3 and 4, race fans, if you can hear me, stand on your feet and cheer on your favorite driver. This is what you came to see, some of the best dirt late model talent in the area. And here they are, the Frank Sagi Tribute Field for 2025.
Good job, guys. Good job. You can break away when you get to the backstretch. Break away when you get to the backstretch.
All right, field stacked up down the back straightaway. Our honoree pace car is heading off into the infield area. Matt Glendon, Greg Satterley on the front row. Andrew Yoder in that 0 wide, joining them on the inside of row number 2. As we get set, the Frank Sagi Tribute, our latest edition, underway tonight here at the capital of dirt track racing. And Greg Satterley quickly launching out to that lead off at turn number 2. Going to be Glendon falling into second. Yoder takes third. Cosner, the top qualifier, running in 4th position, side by side behind him. JT Spence in the high groove in the number 91 machine. Kyle Hardy down low. Cosner sparks off that rear deck lid as he struck the wall off at turn number 2. Grazed it pretty good. He has got that 66C wound up, and here comes Hardy. Cosner to the outside of Andrew Yoder. He'll go third. Hardy to the inside. Yoder trying to throw the block down low. They are side by side. Around the number 4 position. 2 quick laps complete in our 35 lap feature event. It's Satterley, Glendon right now in the high group off turn number 2. He holds second. Cosner in that 66C. Closing the gap, Hardy and Yoder. Great battle back there for the number 4 position. Going to be Hardy hugging the guardrail down bottom. Yoder with the high side momentum. He'll maintain the number 4 spot. Hardy in 5th. 2x2 racing behind them. Eckert to the inside of JT Smith. Feathers and Kyle Lee. They're side by side. And Feathers with a great run off turn 2. Good launch down bottom. He gets around Lee and right up parked in behind the Eckert and JT Spence machines. 3 wide almost as Feathers trying to get to the front. Satterley still holds a good lead. Meanwhile, up front, going to be Cosner going into second around Glendon. Hardy around Yoder. Rick Eckert right behind them. He's on the deck lid of JT Spence, and Trevor Feathers is there. Eckert trying to play offense and defense right now, trying to move up through the field. Behind them, the 2T of Kyle Lee, back in that number 8 position. Feathers on the move to the inside of Rick Eckert. That will move him up one more notch in the order. Satterley brings him back to the stripe. Lap number 6 on the board tonight in the Frank Sagi Tribute. Cosner in second, Glendon third. Hardy and Yoder continue their battle seesaw back and forth. And for the moment, Yoder retakes that position. Hardy a little out of shape, different line that he took. He lost momentum. That opens a door for Feathers. He's on the inside of JT Spence down the back straightaway. Right now, that is the battle for the number 6 position. Feathers' car working well down low. He flips off Spence at the line. He's got the edge on Hardy as he worked it back into turn number 1. And just in front, Yoder working on the 01 of Matt Glendon. That's the battle for third. Give Feathers a number 5 spot. Hardy back to 6th. Eckert in 7th. Spence in 8th. Lee in 9th. And Gene Knob, the number 1 machine, has moved his way up into the top 10. Satterley sees the lap traffic about a half a straightaway ahead, but he has got about a half straightaway lead on Cosner. And Ridgely, West Virginia driver has had himself a great night. He runs the high groove. Satterley goes under the stripe. 9 laps complete. Cosner about a half a straightaway back. And here comes Feathers. Car working great down to the bottom side, to the inside of Andrew Yoder. And Matt Glendon just in front. Off at turn number 2. Glendon has the Hornet's Nest behind him. Yoder and Feathers side by side. And that ongoing battle for the number 3 position. 3 wide almost as they come off at turn number 4. Glendon still has it. Yoder up top. It's going to be Feathers down to the bottom side. Single file behind him. 45 of Kyle Hardy. Then the 24 of Rick Eckert. The 2T of Kyle Lee. 91 of JT Spence falling back to 9th. 1 of Gene Knob in 10th. 24. Kenny Moreland right now in 11th position. Satterley beginning to carve up some lap traffic here on lap number 11. He gets around the 99 BA of Cody Lear. And still with a good half straightaway lead over Matt Cosner, who's got about the same distance. 72 of Trevor Feathers. He's been the fastest on track. He has been rolling and hits it off into turn number 1 and 2 as the 00 Tyler Bear hits off into the pit area here on lap number 12. 121 of Larry Niederer next in line for Satterley. As 17 looks like the 0 of Dale Holly.
Yellow.
Turn
Stay
number
low
2.
in 2. Stay
Caution
low in 2.
on the speedway here on lap 13.
You start the race anytime after the flagman in 3 and 4. 13 down, guys.
All right, 13 laps in the books, set to go back to green. Satterley takes him back into turn number 1 and 2. Let's see what happens. Cosner up top, Feathers down bottom as they work off at turn number 2. Feathers is going to get the position for the moment down bottom, but Cosner's got it wound up on the top side, way high in turn 3 and 4, and does the crossover move. Great battle for second spot between Cosner and Feathers. Dead even as they work it back into turn number 1 and 2. Satterley trying to check out. Now Feathers did that move very boldly, and that's going to open the door for Feathers off of that second turn. Now Cosner's got it wound back up, and he holds that second spot. He'll run top shelf. Going to be Trevor Feathers down to the bottom side, and that opens the opportunity for Cosner to edge away from the 72. Andrew Yoder in that 0Y having a great run. He's holding on to 424 of Rick Eckert right now, top 5. Kyle Lee in the 2T holding on to 6. 45 of Summy Lacey back in 7th. Matt Glendon, the pole sitter, in 8th. Kenny Moreland, great run in 9th. And the 2J, Justin Weaver. He is the top 10 here at lap number 15. Top 3 well spaced out. And we wondered if, with that caution, if that was going to help. As we got trouble in turn 4, several drivers, one started spinning and several with nowhere to go make contact. 3 or 4 making 5 cars possibly. 91 of JT Spence involved. He heads off into the pit area. 4 of Danny Schneider, the 32J of Sean Jones, a couple of drivers down there. All right, field stacked up close to halfway in tonight's Super Late Model 35 lap $5,000 to win feature. Satterley, he's led from the outset at the point. Feathers and Cosner, two of the chief rivals that have a shot at him, and Cosner tries to make something happen, trying to get a good jump, and Feathers right down to the inside likewise. It'll be Satterley off at turn 2 as Cosner keeps it wound up. He and Feathers have had a great battle for that number 2 position. Cosner just a little bit better on that high side as he continues to work the high line. Feathers down bottom. It's going to be Cosner in second. Feathers holding on to third. Yoder in fourth. Eckert now the number 5 spot. Side by side, going to be Hardy and Kyle Lee. Back outside the top 5. Give Lee the number 6 position. Hardy back in 7th. Kenny Morrill in 8th. Matt Glendon 9th. And the 2J, Justin Weaver, rounding out the top 10 with lap 19 on the board this time by. Feathers a better run off turn number 2, and then Cosner comes right back even with him in a great battle for the runner-up spot. But Satterley right now still on cruise control, and again Cosner using that outside keeps it wound up and holds on to the number 2 position. Feathers running the middle to low groove. Going to be Cosner running top shelf this time off turn number 2. That's where he's liked it. Eckert to the 24. He may be a player in this game soon. He's up into the number 4 spot. Hardy and Yoder side by side for 5th here in lap 21. Feathers change that line a little bit off that second turn, and he stays keeping pace right now with Cosner. Then he drops it down low in 3 and 4, and that's where Cosner will edge away with him on the front straightaway. Eckert, meanwhile, that 24 inching closer to that second and third place battle right now. Yoder's won the battle with Hardy, and he rounds out the top 5 with 22 laps complete, make it 23 as Satterley pours it off at turn number 4 and opens up that half straightaway lead once again. Hardy's car now coming to life. He and Yoder have had a good battle all night long, and that's for the number 5 position on the Speedway. Hardy down to the bottom. Yoder now running the high line. Cosner brings it back for lap number 24. Good turn advantage for Greg Satterley. If it stays green with the final 11 laps, he'll hit the back end of the field. But the first time around in lap traffic, no problem for the Indiana-Pennsylvania driver. He was able to handle them one by one. 99 BA of Cody Lear would be the first one he'd have to tackle. Meanwhile, Cosner has begun to open up and exercise a little bit of a gap and some comfort zone over the 72, while the 5J of Braden Jones off the pace down the backstretch. Looks like he'll hit the backstretch pit area. Yoder in the 0Y, reassuming that spot from Hardy. Much like the Cosner-Feathers battle, it's been Hardy and Yoder glued together with each other throughout this race as Satterley goes to lap 26 and around the 99 BA of Cody Lear. Satterley working turn 3 and 4, closing in on more lap traffic. Cosner again by his lonesome now. He's trekked out on the 72 of Trevor Feathers. As the 91 of GT Spence, he had come back out of the pits after that last caution on the Speedway. And he's about to go a lap down. The 121 of Larry Niederer not far behind or up in front of him. Cosner remains in second. Going to be Feathers in third. Eckert by his lonesome in fourth. He was closing on that battle, and now he's fallen back into the clutches of Hardy and Yoder. Those two drivers now pouring it on as they come off at turn number 4. The edge to Hardy at the line. Yoder still on his outside as they work it back into turn number 1 and 2. 5 laps to go for Greg Satterley, working heavy lap traffic off of turn number 4. And moments ago, we mentioned the comfort zone Matt Cosner had. All of a sudden, something may be going away on the 66. Feathers is coming back to life a little bit. And right now, a car length separation between those two. Eckert remains in 4th. Hardy breaking away from Yoder and trying to catch Eckert down the back straightaway as Satterley comes back for lap number 31. Working the low line through some lap traffic now. Satterley's got some breathing room. Got around Sean Shoemaker, Trevor Collins, and Larry Niederer. A few more cars up ahead. The 8 of Matt Spinagle would be next in line, but now it's going to be 1 by 1. And again, he's got about 3 lap cars between himself and Cosner and Feathers, but they got their own battle amongst themselves as Satterley pours that car off at turn number 4. 2 laps to go here in the Frank Sagi Tribute. Eckert once again comfortably back in that number 4 position. Hardy had started closing the gap, and now he's running the low line. Yoder now catching back up with him as the white flag is in the air for the Indiana, Pennsylvania driver, the 2-time winner, looking to become the first 3-time winner of the Frank Sagi Tribute. Trevor Feathers, he's won twice here in this race. Greg Satterley, the other 2-time winner. And right now, the Indiana, Pennsylvania driver on cruise control in turn 3 and 4. Put him down for win number 3 in the Sagi Tribute. It goes to Greg Satterley. Second spot, back to the stripe. It is going to be Matt Cosner. Trevor Feathers winds up in 3rd. Rick Eckert in 4th. Kyle Hardy, your top 5.
Come on, race fans, let him hear it. Greg Satterley! We'll get Greg to come around here to the front of the car. Chat with him here for a few minutes. Greg, you qualified good. You ran really good in your heat. Track started taking some rubber, but air is huge. When you're out front, the car handles so much better. You didn't have to deal with much lap traffic. You almost made it look too easy.
Yeah, it's never easy, but you know, the car was really, really good tonight, all night. That was about as good a car as I've had here in a feature in a while. I mean, we've always obviously had good cars and a lot of success, but it was really dialed in tonight. So, you know, thanks to my team, Robbie, Drew, and my dad. John, Owen, everyone that comes and helps and lend a hand on this thing. You know, it's a team effort, and thanks to Hagerstown and the Sagi family, everyone else tonight that we're honoring and racing for. Thanks to the fans for coming out. Hopefully we put on a good race for you guys. I know it was a little bit of a rain delay, but again, this is just my favorite place to come race. It's just so much fun, and there's so much racetrack out there to use, and you can be just anywhere on it and be fast. So. Thanks to my team, Rocket Chassis, Kaiser Manufacturing, Integra Shocks and Springs, All About Wraps, VP Racing Fuels, Fast Andy Racing, Simpson Racing Products, Rocket Chassis, I think I said them, Hoosier Tires, VP Racing, everyone that helps. We couldn't do without them. DMI, I just want to try to make sure I get everyone. I sometimes get up here and leave people out, but Clements Racing Engine ran awesome again tonight. Everything was just dialed in, and we'll just been a lot of fun racing here lately, so we'll try to keep this streak going.
When the rain set in, some of the drivers seemed to be a little bit concerned about what the track was going to do. I think because they packed it in so good, it really didn't throw you guys much of a curveball.
No, we kind of kept with our normal game plan. It didn't rain a lot, and this place normally just ends up a lot of the same at the end of the night anyway, so Had a lot of dig up the straightaways low, which was unusual, but track was awesome. You know, thanks again to Hagerstown and the Sagi family and everyone for having us out and putting up the money, and we'll be back in a couple weeks.
3 times you've won this race. You come back next year at 4, keep it going. Let's see what we can do, right?
Yeah, I'm going to keep coming back here as long as I can race, and they're still having races. So this is this is an awesome place. It's always a pleasure coming here. And just again, thanks to the fans, and we're looking forward to coming back.
Again, Greg, thank you so much for coming here and supporting this big event. Fans are leaving, but final thoughts for the fans that are leaving or the ones that are sticking around?
Just, you know, we appreciate the support, everyone that's, you know, here racing, trying to make some money. So you guys being here and supporting us allows the tracks to do this. So it's always fun to come here and race, and we certainly enjoy the support.
Excellent. Greg Satter, ladies and gentlemen. Give him a round of applause.
Third, 88C of Isaiah Miller on his outside. 70 of Mike Grady. Starting 5th. All right, green flag is out as it's going to be Dylan Wilson grabbing the lead from the outside. 3 wide battle, Isaiah Miller on the top side, but Alan Brannon's going to break that up quickly and go to second. Miller and Kent, they are side by side for third. Leaders heading off into turn number 3 and 4, coming back for that first circuit. And it'll be Wilson. Caution. No caution, check that. Wilson still leading. Kent working the high line on Alan Brannon off of turn number 2. 38 of Kuntz now up into the number 4 position. 81 of Giesemann running in 5th. 21 of Stoner back there in the number 6 spot. Caution is out for a car slowing on the back straightaway. That's the 83 of Brian Kearns. Has not been his night. Had issues during heat race action.
Hey drivers, cancel this race. We're going to postpone it. You're going to restart this race on lap 2 as you're running now. When we're going to announce a date that when it'll be made up. Go ahead and take your cars to the pits.
All right, race fans, due to our rain coming down right now, we have elected to cancel the balance of our show this evening. The semi-late race for tonight will be made up next week during the 78 season special at Hagerstown. That will be late model sportsmen's, crate late models, semi-lates, and pure stocks. So semi-lates will have a pair of feature events. That will be made up next week. Pure stock race for tonight also canceled. That will be made up on Saturday, July the 26th. We do apologize. Obviously, our amplifier got heated up over here on the grandstand side. We were unable to get you the information as best we could tonight, and our apologies for that. And once again, the rain also slowed things down. But again, tonight's semi-late race will be made up next week during the 78 season special, and our pure stocks will be made up on July the 26th. Again, our thanks out to Alan Sagi and our entire Hagerstown crew. Another very successful late model show. Greg Satterley coming away with the victory here at the Hagerstown Speedway, the 3rd time he has won the Frank Sagi Tribute. For Lisa Plessinger and our entire staff, we wish you a great rest of the weekend, and please drive carefully on your way home.